Hello students, welcome to the English class for Standard 7. Today we'll be seeing a new poem titled The Solitary Reaper. It has been written by William Wordsworth. He is one of the greatest poets in English. So today it is about a solitary reaper. Solitary means somebody who is alone. Okay, so the poet is walking in a place in Scotland, that is in the now presently the United Kingdom. Okay, he is walking near the valley, near a field. There he sees one lady, one woman who is alone, who is just reaping, means she is cutting the grains, the sheaf of that grain. She is cutting them and making them or tying them into bundles. Okay, so he looks at her. She is singing a song which he can't understand because it is in her native language, her native language, which is not English. So he can't understand what she is singing, but it seems it really touches the poet. Okay, so that is why he has written this poem. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. He is telling this to all the people who are passing by. So there are many people passing by, and he is calling them and telling, see, behold means look at this. Lass means a girl, young girl, a highland girl. Highland is the native place of that girl. She is reaping, she is cutting those grains and she is tying them, and she is singing a song by herself. She is singing just by herself. She is singing alone. There is nobody else to whom she is singing. So he is telling the passers by, please wait and listen to her beautiful song, or if not, just gently pass, means without disturbing her song, you just go away. Don't disturb her because her song is so melodious. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. Again he is telling to the people, she's cutting the grain alone. She is binding them into, here if you can see, here she has bound them and put them in bundles. Okay, she's doing that alone, but her song is overflowing. There's a valley nearby, so her song is overflowing into the deep valley. Okay, so what is this song? He wants to know. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. So he's comparing her song to a nightingale. Have you all seen a nightingale? Nightingales sing very beautifully. Okay, so now he is comparing her song to the nightingale, and he is telling that when a nightingale would sing to a group of travelers in the desert. See, in the desert, have you all seen, there is nothing but sand, right? It is a very dejecting kind of look. It is not such a pleasant look. But there, when a traveler finds a place to shelter, see, here you can see, desert is usually filled with sand like this, nothing but sand as far as the eye can see. Okay, now here there are a group of travelers. So now when such travelers find a tent or a shelter, how good it would be for them, isn't it? See, this is an oasis in the Arabian sands, he says. That means in the Arabian desert. See, this is desert sand everywhere. And usually, oasis is a place where in the middle of the desert you find some water, and around that watery place there are trees and there are people who have settled down in that place. So this place of greenery and water in the middle of a desert is called oasis. Oasis, oasis. Okay, so if people come there and if they listen to that song of a nightingale, how pleasant it would be for them. Now William Wordsworth is telling, it is more, this woman's song is more pleasant than that nightingale's song. Okay, now next, a voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Now again, first he compared with nightingale, now he is comparing it with the cuckoo. See, these are cuckoo birds of different species. Okay, so this is the cuckoo we see in India usually. It's a common cuckoo bird. See, this is also a cuckoo bird. Okay, so you all would have heard the cuckoo, especially it sits hiding somewhere inside the branches of mango trees usually and sings very, very melodiously. Now he's comparing those songs of a cuckoo bird to the girl, and he says, a voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird. Usually it sings in springtime. So what does a cuckoo bird do? It breaks the silence of the seas. Among the Hebrides is a place again in Scotland. So he's telling, when there is silence everywhere in the sea, suddenly the cuckoo bird sings and it breaks the silence. Even those beautiful songs are nothing compared to the songs of this woman. So the woman's song is much more melodious. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for an old unhappy far off things and battles long ago. Now he wants to know what she is singing because he can't make out her language. He says, will someone please tell me? He's asking the passers-by, please explain to me what note she is singing. He can understand the music, but the lyrics he can't make out. So he from the music he can somehow make out that it is a sad song. So he is just imagining that maybe it might be she's singing of something, some sad incident which happened long ago, maybe of a battle which was lost or something she lost in the battle. Maybe she's singing about that. He's very curious to know. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again? So he's asking, is it or is it something less sad, not very profoundly sad, maybe less sad, like something which happens usually, like day-to-day activities. Maybe she's sad of some small matters which happens every day and maybe which will happen in the future also. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. So this is a sickle. Can you see this instrument here? This is which they use for cutting those grains and bundling up like this. Okay, so she's bending down. Can you see here how she bends down and she's doing her work? Whatever the theme, now poet doesn't know what theme, so he's just imagining maybe it is a sad song. So he says, now whatever it is, if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work. So as if there is no end to the song, as if it is a long song going on and on. It is like that she was just bending and doing her work with her sickle. She was going on singing. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. So now the poet says, when I listened to it, I listened motionless, means without moving. I just stood still and listened to it because that song was so mesmerizing. And as I mounted up the hill, now after listening, now I am going on my way again. I am just going by. I am climbing. As I climbed the hill, slowly her song is fading. That means as the poet is going away from the reaper, he can't hear her anymore. But it is just not heard, but the music is still there, fresh in his heart. So the music he couldn't forget. He can't hear it physically, but in the heart of the poet, the music still remains. So he was so influenced by this song of this solitary reaper that he wrote this amazing poem. So this is the end of this beautiful poem written by William Wordsworth. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next class.